Hello, guys. Welcome in to today's episode. Today is going to be an extras episode. This is all the stuff that hasn't made it into an episode. We are taking technically a week break from recording due to some of us not being able to be into recording for this week's episode. So, we will be back again next week with a full regular episode. But enjoy all of these little extra bits. And yeah, have a great week, everybody. We will see you all next week with a fun new episode. Bye.
No, okay. What I was gonna say is that with the GameCube, right, or like the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, those things had an era, and the whole point was, oh, these are way better than the previous console, the previous generations, right? Because you went from the 8-bit Nintendo to then the 16-bit Super Nintendo to then the Nintendo 64, which is 64 bits, but it's also 3D. The GameCube was the jump of, okay, it's still 3D, but the polygons are more refined. The areas are bigger, larger. You can add better lighting, so it feels more like, oh, you can add scenery and stuff. Then you jump to the Nintendo Wii, and they're like, gimmick. Not necessarily graphics up, they are up, but it was more like gimmick games. Then you go to the Nintendo Wii U, which is, again, gimmick games, so less about the graphics, more about the gimmick. Then the Nintendo Switch, again, gimmick over graphic. And then they go, well, it's different, but the GameCube went from console with controller to the Wii, which was like handheld controller, remote, where you're using motion, right? The Wii U used motion.
So,
the Switch.
The Wii is just two GameCubes strapped together.
Something like that. but you see the pattern, right? Okay, and let's go to another line of consoles, right? We're going to use somebody else for the start of this, just to kind of give us the feel. So, you get the 8-bit Sega Master System. You get the 16-bit Sega Genesis, then the 32-bit add-on, the CD, and it's a whole fucking mess. Go for the Sega Saturn, which I believe was also 32 bits, maybe a little more. Alright, my apologies. Had to grab my pizza.
Your apologies.
My apologies. But yeah, no. So I get that though about the anime graphics, the anime game.
As far as custom characters and the idea of maybe custom tanks and maybe even custom teams, like that would all be like really, really, really cool.
Well, to me, it's more like the ability to add more content to the game, you know?
Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh man, I sure love the R35 and the Vickers, so I'm gonna play Waffle Academy. No, but like if they added it, it still would be cool because it'd be like, oh shit, they got the small schools in here too.
Well, even just like the ability to mod or change certain things means that you can go in and be like, I'm gonna replace this sticker that I never use in the game to be the Waffle Academy logo, or to be the Maginot logo. So at least then I have more of a, like, maybe I didn't mod the characters, maybe that's too complex for whoever, but at least then you can change the logos around, or even with PC, the ability to add a folder where you can add in custom skins and you load them up like War Thunder. It's stupid in a way of like, it's easy and you go, why wasn't this a thing? But that's what makes PC so like, alright, cool. Like, and that's why I agree with James. Like, yeah, okay, PC releases make it hard for people to want to just throw it on shelves because it's like, digital versions. But again, what makes it hard for me to want to buy a console is I'm like, PC makes it easy, and I hate that. Because I loved my PlayStation 3, I loved my GameCube, I loved my Wii, I loved my Xboxes, and all of it was a good time for its time. But now you're at this point of like, And even Sony's exclusives, which Sony was major, I don't want to play with anybody. I play in my own sandbox. Okay. They started putting their stuff on Steam, and apparently like Little Big Planet 3 was supposed to get like a thing, right, James? You said like they were looking at one of the actual Little Big Planet games getting PC releases. That's dope.
So, yeah.
I loved Little Big Planet. give me a PC release, and so I can refine it. Because the other problem is the console's limitations on the creative mode, or not creative mode. What was it? Like the level editor, right? Where the thermometer would go up, and that's all you can do, bro. With a PC, my powerhouse, I can do whatever I wanted on my moon. It's so sick. Nintendo's a different beast, right? Yeah, they've added mobile games before, and they've dabbled in PC stuff, but they're very purists. They like themselves. They're conservative about their products, their IPs. They're willing to bring people into them, but they hate giving themselves out. And I even believe take the Sonic movie, the Mario movie, right? Sonic movie, they were like, yeah, do what you want with the character, and then you're like, oh my god, please change it, and they're like, okay, here you go, right? Mario movie, they were very specific on how they were going to do this, and if they were going to do it, it's going to be the cartoony style, blah, 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 blah. But it also comes at the cost of still being you gotta refine those things. You can't just rely on the happy Nintendo-go-lucky stuff. You gotta add flair. So insert Jack Black being Bowser and being like, I'm gonna write a song for this without you guys really knowing, and then it's just gonna be a thing. So Nintendo console, to me, it's like, I'm excited, I guess, but I don't feel like the Switch reached its full potential as far as me buying it. Did I spend the right money for it? Did I do what was right getting this? I enjoyed it. I guess I shouldn't say I don't feel fulfilled with it. It did reach its potential. It did what it was supposed to do, and it released the kind of games that it wanted to release, right? But now you're moving on to another generation of consoles, but here's my problem. The Switch had a 3D Kirby game. You have Metroid Prime supposedly still being in the works, right? You released a couple of big Pokemon games on there. You had Smash Ultimate, right? So the new console has potential to finally give us a new Mario Kart, to give us a new Legend of Zelda, even though we got the Tears of the Kingdom. But when you have Smash Ultimate and you have all these other games, it's like Yoshi's Woolly World, and you're like, oh wow, they actually dabbled in certain IPs that they don't normally release for as much anymore. You kind of go, well, is it going to be that exciting for the next console? Are they going to release these things? And is my Nintendo Switch Online now a bad thing, right? For an example, if a new console is on its way, is that going to transfer over? Because you guys spent time putting emulators on here. You spent time saying, oh, you're going to be able to play N64 games and all that. So are we finally going to get GameCube games on this next one? Are you going to bring all that over? Am I repaying for something? I don't want to have to pay for two consoles. I don't want to have to be doing, my stuff transfers over. Cool. But Nintendo's not really got a great history of things like that. From the Wii to Wii U, I could transfer some of my WiiWare games, but not all of them. I never did, because I heard that you could use the GameCube controller, and I was like, it kind of made a lot of them worth it. Switch didn't do that at all. None of that from the Wii or Wii U transfers over. And then, so is the Switch stuff going to transfer to my... And hopefully the new console allows me to play my Switch games. That would make that so much easier for me. And if I could transfer my save files, even better, dude. PlayStation 3 to PS4 let you do that for the most part. With certain things, using that PS Now or whatever. And you can...
Xbox One allows you to play certain original Xbox games.
And that's because Xbox be doing it right. But Sony's stubborn and Nintendo's too conservative. But go on, sorry.
I was just saying, it's just because fucking Microsoft pretty much owns both the PC industry and the Xbox industry, so it's easy for them to combine everything. When you think about it.
100%. That's what makes it easy to have seamless transitions, like the Xbox console companion on PC. Connect to Steam, connect to Xbox, connect to PC games that you buy otherwhere.
Just think about it, an Xbox is just a console version of a PC nowadays.
It is, and the best part about it is technically it connects to all your devices. You can have an Xbox, a PC, and it's the same thing. Kind of, not really. But they also still intertwine enough where you don't feel like... You could have seamless gaming between the two. If not three, with, I think, certain Android phones, whatever, can also use some of the stuff. But we're also gonna be the type of assholes
Knowing
that are
Andy's on the other side of the wall, takes a fucking drill, drills a hole through the wall. Hey, Andy!
Mo's gonna be the guy at 3 a.m. who opens the fridge, slams it, opens up a soda real fucking loud, drinks it, then throws the can on the floor, and then burps really loud at my wall. And we'll have pretend arguments on the phone.
I'm
And
so
I'm
glad
constantly
that
gonna
I'm
come over to
starting to
Andy's
save up
house
for
to
a
ask for
house.
eggs. Like, hey, Andy, you got the eggs, bro? Yes, I'm very aware that I can't eat eggs anymore, but I just need some eggs.
Egg
Hey,
this.
neighbor, are you gonna borrow your sugar? Okay, are you gonna use your sugar? Or do you mind if I take some of that too? Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
Well,
Thanks, Andy.
in fact, Andy, do you mind if I just get one of your house keys while you're at work?
I do mind. So much so that now I'm
You know,
going to
it's
make
fine.
sure I don't ever show you which one is my extra set.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut open a piece of the wall and I'll put a door there, like a little closet door. That way we can walk in and out of each other's rooms. I'm like, hey, what's going on, Andy? But Jim's and I's side is gonna have the lock on it.
What the hell?
What? I don't
I'm
want
gonna
you
put
walking
a
in on us.
giant bookcase in front of it.
That's alright. I'll cut a hole in there too. Nothing's gonna be better when you have family over and James and I like smash open the fucking books, right? Like just knock them all over. Our heads going through a fucking bookshelf. Like, hey, Andy, what's going on? Like,
You
like
put
I've
fucking
involved.
things in front of it and we just fucking smash through it.
Like, howdy do, neighbor? Scare everybody, but I'm sorry to know you're having a family reception here. Just coming in here to borrow your mayonnaise, so yeah, real quick. You might want to pick up the books, by the way, Andy. It doesn't look very good for your house. I also like that I involved James into my antics, and he has not. He just went with it. This is peak. My mustache is like super overgrown. I'm trying to get like a new mustache trimmer because mine decided to fucking like break on me or some shit. This one's $39. It's not bad. I get it today by 5 p.m. if I order it right now.
I
Yeah,
guess iPhone 12s have a lot of radiation in them.
it's a good thing I don't have an iPhone 12. I have an iPhone fucking 10 X Max or whatever the fuck it's called.
Imagine having an old phone.
I cannot handle that guy. I hate to be that guy. I just
You hate to be the guy who has a new phone?
no. I don't like that. Every time I scroll through my shorts and it's the same fucking like everybody's just so unoriginal these days. Hey Apple, what's new with you? Oh hey man, it's just my eyes and my lip over the iPhone logo. But I'm gonna tell you about the current problems I'm having that are alleged. Oh, you should fix that. Yeah, I know. And then the TikTok logo. I'm like, all right, bro. Haha. Aha. Aha. Oh ho.
We get it. You hate TikTok.
No, it's not just that. I just don't like the fucking people with the same like content. It's the same thing over and over. Just you change one aspect of it. I don't know. He's not. I don't know. No, he just you just sent me, James. I'm just saying it. Just it ain't for me, Chief. Here's a question for you though. Completely in regards to your situation. Why don't you like talking about certain cryptids?
Cultural thing. The
Ultra.
yeah. It being a very specific cryptid that has to do with like the native side of my heritage. Like it's
We'll go.
so much to the point that like when my grandpa was alive, he like taught me and my brother like prayers for them, and like we don't.
About skinwalkers.
And we've said it. All right, perfect. I'm glad I didn't say it because I'm not gonna say it.
No, they don't come over here.
They do
I
here
don't think.
because we have
No,
quite
is
a
what
bit of
it
natives
is.
out here.
Okay, I'm one too, but I ain't out here being like, oh no,
Yeah,
please.
they're not gonna really show up in a giant city like that though.
I'm good. Look, kindly fuck off.
Yeah, but I don't. There's something about like existing around them that just doesn't sit well with me.
I mean, is that like? I mean, do you really believe in all that?
Yes, I do.
'Cause, like, I think the only thing we got here is Bigfoot, and I'm not really all that like. Worried about it.
What's Bigfoot gonna do? He hides.
I don't know. Bigfoot's real. He tried to eat my ass.
If he did, I'm so sorry. Get fucked.
I mean, it was consensual.
Oh. If I had to say I had a favorite cryptid, I don't even know what it would be.
I would I'd say Mothman's cool. And no particular reason other than I've always just thought he'd look neat. I like the Loch Ness monster concept too. And then there's what the Ogopogo. That's a thing. I think they're neat. Like I think the concept of cryptids existing and all that's kind of like a cool little sub story with the world. But
Yeah.
I mean, do you believe they all exist or just that like certain ones exist?
I think that's some of them can exist, but I feel like there are some that are kind of just like not fully real.
I mean, there's a lot of folk tales from like different countries like Europe, Asia, and all that shit, right? And you got like different spirits and shit. Like there's the
Yeah.
blue lady from Spain and all that other shit. Um, but I don't know. I'm kind of on that weird, like I don't really know. Like my grandfather, whatever, right? He was the chief, and then his wife was a medicine woman, and that's where my mom's like, oh yeah, that's why we're so quote unquote like haunted and stuff. Why I see ghosts or shit. And, like, and I do firmly believe I've seen ghosts and shit before in my life. But so, yeah, but as far as like skinwalker type stuff, I've never really had like that whole like I guess fear that they exist. It was eerie when I was driving to New Mexico and all that. And, like the concept was there, but like
I think the problem I have with skinwalkers, um,
oh, you said
is
it.
like
You said it.
we've actually like seen them in the window before. I think the scariest one that I've ever seen was one that looked similar to my neighbor's dog, but like you could clearly tell because my neighbor's dog is an inside dog, and like I could see her in the window.
Hmm.
It was terrifying.
I can imagine.
Like you can tell when it's not real, like not a real animal, because they have weird things that go along with them. Like they're not fully that animal. They'll have some like open wounds or something. It's not fully formed, or like it's just something is like super off about it.
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, so again, for me though, I've never really like noticed weird shit like that. Like it's only ever been ghosts, so I just don't even like like shadow figures and shit like that, which is just fucking. I wouldn't say it's not bothersome because it definitely is, but it's like usually people equate to it's family. It's oh like I'm like oh I see grandpa. And I'm like what the fuck like and I don't believe in like the stars and all that bullshit that people do. But same token, it's like that's the thing that everyone's believing in. I guess I'll just sit around and be like, I mean, I see things, so I guess I gotta kind of believe that it's happening. But I don't know.
Yeah, I like to ghost hunt. I have like an entire ghost hunting setup on my phone alone.
Fuck that. I don't like ghosts. I don't like hunting them. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to deal with them. That's just spooky.
We have a lot of haunted shit over here. Because
Oh,
again, a
oh
lot of
Lord.
this area was native land before, so like you get some scary shit. It's fun.
I believe most of the political haunted shit here in California is like fucking criminal related stuff. So it's like I just don't want to deal with that shit.
I think the saddest one I've ever had to like think about when we did it was this man kidnapped 4 girls on a school bus and then took that school bus and buried it underground halfway. So the only way that
Jesus,
he could get in and out was from the roof. And the house caught on fire that he lived in. And the girls starved to death inside the bus.
that's fucked up.
Yeah. It was a rough situation. Like to like think about and read about. And you can still go visit the bus and everything, and the house is still burned down. No one lives there. If you had to go up against one of the cryptids that you don't ever want to see, which one would it be?
Probably Wendigo or some shit.
Let's see. Yeah, no. They're so close to skinwalkers that I don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, the only difference between them is they're fucking frozen and they're just cannibals. But like, I'd rather get away from that shit than fucking I don't know. I just because I don't want to deal with any of them, to be honest with you. But like it's something more realistic, I guess, than like because the amount of shit they say about things like Bigfoot, Mothman, and all that, and the supernatural shit they got going on, it's more elaborated on versus like at least you kind of get what you're going against when it comes to things like skinwalkers and wendigos and shit. Like they're fucking people who are like the wendigos were people who were cannibals in their life, right? That had to eat people, and then the cost of that was becoming a fucking wendigo.
Yeah.
But like that's just more or less like, okay, just stay the fuck out of that area, get the fuck out of that area, because skinwalkers is easy as don't mention them, don't look them in the eye, and you're good to go. Right, and then Wendigos is just as simple as don't go in their fucking territory, and if you do, get to a certain point where they can't get to you or some shit, and it's like,
I think if I had to choose one to come into contact with, that was not like the Loch Ness monster,
fuck this monster, you mean?
because like
What's wrong with them?
that's not a scary
Or her?
cryptid.
It can be. You don't know anything about
Nah,
them.
I'm sure that she's really lovely and she loves hiding, and she just eats fish. It's fine. If I had to choose one that's not scary or that is scary and not the Loch Ness monster, I probably would also pick Wendigos just because they're the lesser of two evils in the bad ones that I don't like.
I mean, there's enough folklore around both the main ones that we're talking about here that we can be scared and you're like, fuck that, but
Yeah.
still.
Now, if I had to pick one that wasn't scary to hang around, it definitely would be Nessie.
Nancy.
The reason that I would prefer Nessie is just because, like, could you imagine how exciting it would be to like see something that everyone believes is actually just like a stick?
Well, at that point, you can just say Jesus.
I said a
I
stick.
found.
I didn't say
yeah.
that Jesus was a stick.
What was he hung on?
2 sticks. Doesn't make him one.
I mean, he was pretty skinny.
That you know of.
If this man was lethargic or some shit, I'd be very surprised.
I mean, wouldn't you be tired?
I'm always tired. So, what I'm saying is when they focus on the stories of a Pokemon game, right? And they want it to be this complex thing. To fill this non-existent space that they apparently say doesn't, well, you gotta pick one. Do you want battles or story? And everyone's like, battles. Okay, so what it was, we made a giant map and there's a lot of story to it, but we took out like half the Pokemon.
Problem is, there's like no good story. Like it's not. Story wasn't even their like thing with that at all. It was just bad.
But what I mean is they're like, okay, I understand and respect what they were trying to do with the new region, and they were like, okay, cool, let's get all of these Pokemon, and they can spawn in the worlds. You can walk everywhere. There's no loading. Cool, but it feels empty. There's like 5 fucking trainers in the wild, and then they dwindled it more with the update, right? And then you get it where it's like, okay, the Pokemon will spawn. Yeah, like 3 fucking Pokemon, they're all the same. So God forbid you need to find a Riolu. Look, in a normal game, it's like, okay, it's a 1% chance they'll spawn in the grass. Okay, cool, I know is I just gotta keep shuffling through the grass. And if I'm emulating, press the fucking spacebar and let it fucking go, right? But in this case, it's like, walk out of the area, walk back to the area. Hope you don't run into something that accidentally like procs you, and then you're like, God damn it, bro, and the animations take so long to start the battle and shit, and you're like, I'm just trying to play Pokemon, man, like... Yeah. And then you make a big deal. Oh, you gotta pay for Pokemon Home. You gotta pay to keep your Pokemon in the bank. Okay. Can I do anything with those Pokemon? Well, we haven't added the functionality yet to the new game. Okay. Well, we finally add the functionality, but only 30% can transfer over. And you're like, okay. Could I use my favorite mod?
Even doing it then?
I'm a big fan of this specific Pokemon that happens to be really
like
popular.
Farfetch'd.
No, but see, they'll be like, oh, you like Charizard? You can't have Charizard in the game, but we added Basculin.
Well, no, that's the thing. They did add Charizard. They only add Charizard.
Okay, but
they
you know
don't
what I
add
mean.
anyone else. They're like, we can add any other Pokemon game. No, the next game is just gonna be Charizard. That's it. That's the
Charizard.
only Pokemon
My
that's gonna be
favorite
in it.
game, Pokemon Charizard.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. How many champions in the last few games have had a fucking Charizard? Too many.
Yeah. But then the other issue, right? Or this is a funny one. Did you ever see the person who it was like right when Scarlet and Violet was coming out? Nintendo had replied to the person and they said, "I'm so excited. I hope Bayleef's in the game. Bayleef is my favorite Pokemon." And Nintendo or whatever the Pokemon company, who the fuck, replied, like the Pokemon Twitter, saying, "That's great to hear. We love fans," or whatever the fuck. And then Bayleef was not in the game. And everyone was like, "Bro, justice for this person," because they got responded to and denied. They didn't even deny it. They were just like, "Oh, that's super sweet. They liked the tweet and all that." And you're like, "Bro, this person shows their love," and you said, "Fuck that Pokemon in particular." But fuck us if we didn't put fucking Stantler in the game or fucking Weedle. Like, wasn't there a game where Weedle wasn't even in it? I don't know. Like, bro, like, it's wild to me to think. And I get, you try to make the region feel like it's different from every other one, so you pick specific Pokemon that would fit the region or whatever, right? But some choices, like, damn well no one's gonna pick that Pokemon. The fuck did you put the effort of modeling that in? But you're gonna tell me, "Hey bro, you wanna use Carnivine?" I can't be having that. We don't like Carnivine out here. Well, shit. I mean, substitute it too. If you're not going to add every Pokemon, at least the Pokemon you do bring in, make them different somehow or something. Make them worth using. Cause, or even then, now it feels like they use less of new Pokemon and it's all about the old Pokemon. Or like, when they do make new Pokemon, it's like, why would I use the new one if the old an older one's here that's just way better?
That's how I feel about, like, Cloth. He's really cool, but he's bad.
Yeah. He's a crab champion, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, I love him.
He's literally fucking Tony from from Crab Champions. But yeah, like, or you had Magneton was a choice, or you had the other one that I took, the Belly Bolt, right? And then there was the whatever the one that you get in the starting route, right? And you're like,
What is it?
literally all these options, and you might as well just get Magneton. So if I heard correctly, the little weird Pikachu clone one in the game is actually pretty good. But man, Pokemon needs to change its formula, or change something, or just give us the basic thing we want, and just leave it alone. And the only reason I say to leave it alone is it's just what else. Nintendo has a history of innovation without really the reasons. Like the GameCube felt great. Supposedly, I don't have the specs up on me, but supposedly it was less performance heavy than the PS1 or the PS2 or the Xbox. Right? It wasn't on par. Granted, some games that were on GameCube had better graphics than the ones on PS2. I don't know if that's just a PS2 issue. But then you go for the Wii and they really want to emphasize motion controls and all that shit, right? But then they tried to add regular games, Battle Revolution, and me having to stand up to use the damn cursor to select my moves got kind of annoying. And I'm like, can I just turn the controller sideways and just use the D-pad? And they're like, no. Fuck you think this is? The Wii U,
You do that.
the giant iPad was not a great choice, right? So I'm like, Pokemon follows suit. They try to innovate and try to make the game different, but then they end up not really making it different at all. Ironically, the spin-off game felt more like an upgrade than the fucking regular line game. I loved the controls and the feel of Legends Arceus compared to Scarlet Violet. And now, questions
from Andy. Dear Zac Efron.
Marry me, marry me, marry me. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
What the fuck?
And that was the response from James. Do 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 do.